Welcome, everyone. This is Marcia McMahon. I've been a channel for Princess Diana for 25 years, and I've published 2 books with Diana on world peace and her knowledge of diplomatic affairs. This is my first one, Princess Diana's Message of Peace, and then With Love from Diana, Queen of Hearts. And both of these were published in the early 2000s, but they're still collector's items, and they're very pertinent to the world affairs today. And so the Queen came to me with a very urgent message and asked me to deliver it. And I have a little YouTube station. And so I'm going to go forth with Queen Elizabeth's request. Apparently, in the spirit realm, Diana and the Queen are friends again. And the Queen heard of me because I sent letters to the palace years ago, before I was known at all. And she might have heard of me then. I used my actual name. But I think just word gets around in heaven who's a good, honest, trustworthy medium that they can trust, that they're not out for the fame. And I'm enjoying this really beautiful crown that Stephanie, who is joining us, gave me years ago at a Diana art reception when I did a retrospective of all my Diana works. I have a painting of her here behind me. This is called, I think it's called Diana, England's Rose. So she refers to herself as England's Rose. And I will tell you that this message is a little bit on the side of the European perspective of current affairs right now, and a world perspective. And a Queen was actually a very liberal-minded lady. I was really surprised because I always thought, the way she dressed and everything and spoke, she was pretty conservative. But it kind of blew my mind having her come to me and ask me for this session. Turns out she's very open-minded and just like Diana, very liberal, but she didn't feel, I think, in her life, it was appropriate to express her political opinions one way or another. That's how the monarchy traditionally works. So anyway, I hope you're having a great spring and things are falling into place for you. So without further ado, I heard from Elizabeth about a week before I channeled this message. So I'm saying, calling upon you, Queen Elizabeth. I am sorry I missed my cue a while ago, but I've been unwell. I'm eager to hear your message and that of Diana as well. Queen Elizabeth. Good afternoon, Marcia. This is Queen Elizabeth, your friend. I speak on behalf of the entire royal family and the House of Windsor that things are about to give up a world a shock, as things will tumble down one after another into what will be very upsetting news. Things will begin to unravel for Charles and Camilla, particularly for Camilla, and then we see in time that my grandson William and his lovely wife Catherine will be queen, and this may happen by the end of the year. However, we wish to emphasize that Charles is still struggling with his health, and there will be other issues that will befall the palace, and it is my sincere hope and wish that William reunite with his brother Harry. I ask they repair their brotherly friendship, be on speaking terms as they go through the many transitions. We, of course, send our love to King Charles and his realm, and I strongly advise that he have a good will set up and firm directives for the monarchy so that Camilla cannot attempt a so-called coup again. We are sorry to say it this way. Before, I had hoped this could be dealt with in more friendly terms. I wish to say again how very fond I am of my grandson, Prince Harry, Princess Lilibet, Prince Archie, and Duchess Meghan. I think they're doing a fine job in America, but it would be nice if they could obtain a home in the UK somewhere, perhaps Northern Ireland or Cornwall, or someplace a bit away from the maddening crowds. Because I do see that President Trump is unfriendly to the couple, and I would hate to see his citizenship revoked or potential residency revoked. At the moment, the world seems to be very much on edge with Mr. President Trump and the things that he has done to threaten Canada, and likewise not unite behind a common enemy in Putin. As well, we stand for the Ukraine, and we stand as the Commonwealth and stand only for the democracy, principles of democracy and equality throughout my realms. If I were still alive, I would have taken counsel with Prime Minister Starner, whom I admire, by the way. I think he too understands the principles of democracy. Though we are a constitutional monarchy, there is much freedom in our system now. One might even say that we are more a democracy than the current administration in America, sadly. Marcia, Queen Elizabeth, is there anything you wish to say to your grandson, Prince Harry or Prince William, that would perhaps have a chance of reaching them and affect their opinion on each other one way or another? And any advice for the king or any world affairs that you might wish to add your great knowledge of things? And being that you can see further on down the road, and that you had a great motherly love for the kingdom everywhere, as did the late Diana. Saying, yes, well, thank you for your compliment. I did my very best to hold that family together. Everyone had their unique personalities and their ways and habits, which in some cases was to prove to be their undoing. And I won't name anyone with regard to that. We see that Russia is very much a threat, and it would behoove the American president to stand in NATO and stand by Ukraine, for it will be a prevalent and persistent threat to the Eastern European nations, and for that matter, possibly Western European nations as well. Even Scotland, England, Norway, Finland, all these countries up there so close to the border. There is talk of sending British troops to the Ukraine, and I, for one, would support it, though I am not the reigning monarch any longer. I think more needs to be done to rein in the endless pursuit of power that we see with President Trump and his favorite dictator, Putin. We are not able to say what can convince him, but I think he's beginning to appreciate the point of the united front against the tyrannical dictator, Putin. We also don't appreciate the different threats against Canada. Canada is still part of the Commonwealth, and therefore it would be an indirect insult and threat to Britain. Canada is not for sale, and it has strong ties to Britain and France, and it is a divided situation as it is. So we don't wish to see his attempt at annexation. I am not an American. I do not understand how the system works there, really, except that it appears to be very divided at the present in time, but we do see in time there will be some sort of revolt against his designs on all of the departments, and we see that people will want to vote a new leader in time. In the meantime, we feel what is going on is very sad indeed. He is not only extending his authoritarianism to the United States, but to the world, where he aspires a dictatorship as well. All of this, of course, is seen in retrospect from the heavenly computer. And I will now turn this over. You asked about my grandson and my grandchildren, of course, William and Harry, my two favorite princes. As to Harry and Meghan, I've spoken my piece about them, and I would wish them to be reunited with the family on speaking terms, at least for what is to come, which will be very shocking, and I shall not go into the details just yet. Thank you so much, Queen Elizabeth. I am honored to be in your presence and your scribe. Queen Elizabeth, you're welcome. I send on my eternal love to all my family members, my grandchildren, my son, and all the distant cousins and so forth. I also send all my love to England, to the Commonwealth, its realms, and I am truly watching over you with care. Truly yours, Elizabeth the Queen. And then I will go on to the beautiful Princess Diana's message. So just be prepared to receive her gift of her rose healing energy as we go forward in this message. And she more or less confirms what the Queen was saying about these breaking revelations that are about to happen. Now, are all aware that Prince Charles had a health scare yesterday and was hospitalized as a result of some complications, but has been released. So I think she's referring to his possible transition. Let's hope not, but always send positive light to everyone and to Charles at this time. But I also feel that when that happens, and I'm just tuning in a little finer, that there will be other revelations unraveling, and it could be before or after, but it seems to involve Camilla in some way. And so I've seen all the YouTube videos that accuse Camilla of being involved in, Diana's accident. And I do feel it relates to the accident, but I do not get that Camilla had anything to do with the accident. I could be totally wrong, but usually Diana's confided some of the more personal things about such things, and has said for years that it was not an accident, but she doesn't go into further details. So I would, like to say that she too is not going to reveal all the juicy details right now. So, but it is coming quickly, and I do feel it involves the truth about her accident, which will finally be known. So, without further ado, I will channel Princess Diana on the breaking revelations. And now I would like to take another deep breath and go within to channel Diana and see what she is thinking today, or for her advice on worldly affairs, any messages to her family at this time. Diana, good afternoon, darling Marcia. I am so glad that you've had the honor of hearing from the late Majesty, late Queen Elizabeth. I was always a big fan and admirer, though we didn't always see eye to eye. We are friends now on the other side and basically stand behind the royal family and its status in the world. England has been serving as the motherland and role model for democracy for some 1,000 years, and she has evolved into a system of a constitutional monarchy and a great democracy. Indeed, as we've mentioned, the importance of democracy, and we want to stress that democracy is to be preserved in America for all the world to see. At this sad juncture, we see that your President Trump is taking a chainsaw to the many vital functions of your government, such as watchdog groups that protect consumers and Social Security rangers and whatnot. And and the national parks. So many programs like the USAID were very important to the survival of countries and that are being courted now by China and Muslim extremists. So she is cautioning that these vital U.S. aid programs be not cut, but she's seeing it, but she can't do anything else. We wish to say that Americans should write their congressmen and women, albeit whatever party, and stand up for the agencies that they feel are being unfairly cut. I never take sides in political arguments, but I feel that he has overstretched his power in alienating so many countries like the European Union, Britain, Scotland, Ireland, and he doesn't seem to have a good grasp of world affairs to solve the dilemma between Russia and Ukraine. But on the other hand, it is to be admired that he is at least trying for peace and to gain a peace there. But I do wish that he achieve peace, but not through the extortion of the Ukrainian energy. Everyone, even Republicans, are beginning to mistrust that Mr. Elon Musk, and I would say that he is not to be trusted, and he has no intention of finding fraud, but merely heartlessly cutting jobs and puffing up his ego. He's not willing to cut of any of his programs, which he's making billions on, and they are involved in the deep exercise of the United States military. I do see that when he met briefly with Mr. Hegseth, that he was indeed briefed on many programs there. I would say that Mr. Hegseth is more of a scoundrel than Elon, but that is a topic for another time. We feel that the rights of Blacks, women, and minorities and the disabled are being short-shrifted in the new policy. I found that the Venezuelan act was abysmal neglect of targeting Venezuelans, migrants, some of them perhaps legal, without really checking the background to see that they were in fact involved in terrible gangs. We do see in time that he will be reined in by the courts and many people, and there will be forthcoming investigations into the elections, which we feel will yield some truth about how the election was manipulated and to what end. We do feel, but we can't say that for sure that Kamala Harris would have won. We do feel would have still been a very tight race, and we do feel Elon Musk, in the use of his Twitter, outweighed the chances. She's saying, regarding my personal circumstances, there are yet to be revealed, which I cannot speak of this with this particular channel or channeling. Marcia, Diana, the Queen, mentioned something about breaking news with the House of Windsor that would be very upsetting to the world. Is she insinuating that you and your accident would finally be revealed of what you've been saying all along? Pardon me, that it was not an accident, but possibly murder. Yes, it's quite possibly that too, and many things about the monarchy and my death. Yes, I am Diana, England's Rose, and I come to all who call upon my name today. I just call and I'll come in an instant, for I am the Queen of Hearts. With love, Diana. So just absorb that beautiful rose healing energy. And if you do Reiki, hold up your hands and we will begin the healing session. And I will close off with the recording. For those of you listening on YouTube, my name again is Marcia McMahon. I thank you for joining, and please consider subscribing to my station. And I will see you next time I have an update.